Hello and welcome to the Downsized. Today is August 9th, 2025, and this is our weekly weigh-in. My name is Christopher Durham.
I'm Laraine Durham.
And we, as we said, are a YouTube channel called The Downsized. We've been married 22 years and have been on this crazy GLP-1 journey since when?
September of 2023. So long now. We're in week 96 of our journey. And this is a channel where we talk about everything related to GLP-1. This is our weekly weigh-in where we tell you how our week's going and we weigh in with some questions from our viewers.
Now you may notice we're in a slightly different place. This is actually a different part of our yard. So lots of bug noises around. It's hard to say whether you'll be able to hear that, but it'll be fine. So before we jump into it, we like to remind you that we're not doctors. Lorraine's not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. This is our personal experience, our conversations with you guys, our research. If you need help with your health and wellness, with your weight loss journey, please talk to your local prescriber, your doctor, and get a plan built just for you. We also ask that if you could take a moment, hit the like and subscribe button. Yeah, ding, 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 ding. If you hit that bell, it'll actually alert you every time that we publish a video or go live, which we do every once in a while, at least once a week.
Yeah, so go ahead and click that like button now and we'll get into it. So this is starting week 96 of our journey. I've lost right at 50 pounds as of today. We started our journey on September 29th, 2023. I have been on tirzepatide for all of that time and I lost 50 pounds. So I started at 193 pounds. I'm a 5'5" mother of 3 children. I'm 56 years old. And today my weight is 143.4. So actually that's 49.6 pounds down. And that's where I've been maintaining right around 50 pounds now for about a year. I hit my goal weight of back in July of last year, 2025. So I've been just kind of cruising on a maintenance dose. This week I took a maintenance dose of 7.5 milligrams of compounded tirzepatide. I've been on 7.5. Well, last week I took 6 because I finished the vial and that was all that was left. So I didn't want to take a second shot. So, and that actually not messed me up a little bit, but I could tell, right? Mm-hmm. So I took that shot on. We usually take our shots on Friday, and I just forgot to take my shot. You know, sometimes even 96 weeks into it, we still forget or things come up or whatever. So it was Sunday by the time I remembered to take my shot, and I drew what was left in the vial we're currently using, and there was only 5.96 milligrams I was able to pull out. So I said, well, I'll just go ahead and take that shot on Sunday, and then on Friday's our normal shot day, came back around to Friday and took my shot on Friday of 7.5 milligrams, which was fine. And you know what, I've been using that Me Again app, and you can see the level of medication in your body over time. So the level of medication in my body is like 10 milligrams, which I think is really interesting to see that and to think about it, because you can definitely see the level dip when I took a lower milligram shot, and then it, of course, on shot day, it goes right back up again. And it's really interesting to correlate how you feel in terms of appetite suppression, food noise, based on the level of medication in your body. It's so directly correlated for me. So I thought that was really interesting to be able to look at that. Anyway, so that's my week. So last week I was 143.6. This week I'm 143.4. I'm not trying to lose any more weight. I'm trying to focus on building some muscle and really working on my fitness. I'm trying to do a 30-day challenge in August, working out at least 30 minutes or exercising, moving at least 30 minutes for every day in August. And today is August 9th, so I'm 9 for 9 so far. So we'll see how that goes. So that's been my week.
Yeah.
How about you, Christopher?
Excellent. Oh, let's see here. I have my spreadsheet, Post-it note. You guys know my spreadsheet.
I have mine.
This is a new spreadsheet, because I used to have like 4 weeks on there. I don't know what happened to that one.
On your Post-it note?
Yeah, I lost the Post-it note that had like 4 weeks on there.
Imagine
I
that.
could go back and look at my app because I weigh every
Yeah.
day. So I started at 286.4 pounds. I'm 56 years old. We're the same age for a few months during the year.
6 months.
6 months during the year. My birthday's coming up at the end of August, so I'll be 57. And let's see, as of this morning, I weighed 183.2 pounds. So that puts me 103.2 pounds. That's pretty close to my lowest weight if you rule out the weird weight I had from the battery scale when we were traveling, which said I was 106 pounds down. But I don't really believe that. I think 104 is my lowest weight. Somebody questioned that in the comments, and I'm like, why would I question having a lower weight? That's not.
Well, it was a different scale. It was the
Yeah.
travel scale. So, you kind of have to.
Problem is that then when I got home and
Adjust
weighed
your
myself again,
expectations.
it didn't. I mean, if I had been 106, it would have been fine, but it didn't match up. It was an
Right.
aberration. It wasn't.
Right. I mean, the batteries were dying in that scale. It was a travel scale,
We'll have to change batteries. We're going on a cruise in a few weeks. We'll have to put some new batteries in
Yep.
the scale.
Yep.
Anyway, so I am 5'10.5". It took me right at 50 weeks to get down to my goal weight or my center weight of 185 pounds. So I'm a little bit below that center weight. It's fine. I go up or down a few pounds one way or the other. It doesn't really matter to me. I mean, my goal is just to stay in that sweet spot. Just kind of do that. I'm on 15 milligrams take on Friday every week, so not stretching it out, not going down. It's working great for me. Just want to sustain and move on with life.
All right. Sounds good.
Easy living. Laraine mentioned the Me Again app. Me Again is also a sponsor of the Downsized, so thank you very much. This is a sponsored post. Me Again is an iPhone app that helps you track your progress as you do this journey on GLP-1. So everything from weight to it has a animated Tamagotchi style kind of digital pet that if you punch
If you
in
do
your
all the things,
if you do all the things,
the
it's kind of
pet's
fun.
very happy and he feels very good. If you don't track for a few days, he feels bad. So it's a neat little motivator. But you can log your food, your water, your shots, shot location, shot strength, see like I said, the level of medication in your body. So it's very handy. It's available on the App Store. It's not available for Android, only for Apple. Sorry about that. They do want to do an Android eventually. I'm getting mosquito bites.
It gives you lots and lots of data, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, so that's that. So she's getting mosquito bites. We're sitting outside. Apparently her mosquito bite theory isn't holding up.
More on my mosquito bite theory, if I may. Oh, there's JoJo behind us. Hey, JoJo. Oh, look, a butterfly. Oh, look, here he comes. Let's see if he lands on me. He did not want to land on me. So last night we went out to dinner. I did a evening session of cardio dance at the gym, and then I met Christopher and one of our daughters at a pizza place that has some outdoor seating. They do like a fire brick oven pizza that we like. We used to each get the pizza. Now we split the pizza and we get a salad.
We're not buying as much food. So
It's delicious. I love pizza. I'm not eliminating anything from my diet. But anyway, we sat outside and our daughter was sitting across from me and she said, "You've got something, is that a bug or something on your forehead?" And I'm like, "Ugh," and I brushed it and she's like, "Okay, you got it." I'm like, "Oh, it's kind of itchy." I came home and I had a welt on my temple right here and one in the middle of my forehead. And I'm like, oh great, now I'm gonna be itching these mosquito bites on my face. Like that's the worst. I just got a mosquito bite on my leg actually. And so, what I've found this summer being on tirzepatide for so long is that the inflammation from my bug bites goes away like in a matter of hours. There's not anything there now. It's not itchy. I don't feel anything. But it sure was itchy last night. I took a shower and I just put my regular face moisturizer on and I went to bed. And this morning I got up and there's nothing. And I am someone who has suffered with mosquito bites for my whole life. Mosquitoes love me. They still love me. They're still biting the heck out of me, even just sitting here. But the inflammation, the welts, they would last for weeks. I would be covered in mosquito bites. I mean, this has happened to me all through my life. And to not have to suffer with mosquito bites is, I really attribute it to the tirzepatide. I mean, I can't, there's nothing else that it would be. I mean, this is like a year after year, every summer kind of thing. So
Completely non-scientific, anecdotal commentary.
yeah, so I mean, I searched for it on Reddit and I saw some people had mentioned it. Some of our viewers, Megan out in Texas, said that she felt the same way about what was happening. So, that's another unexpected but great benefit of this medication.
So it was a big week in news for GLP-1s. We had the quarterly calls for both Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly. Published videos on both of those. If you guys didn't get a chance to watch them, please go and watch them. Novo disappointed the stock analysts, and their pipeline of new drugs is kind of sad. They've got a few things, but then Lilly comes through the next day and is just knocking it out of the park. So if you haven't, go take a look at them, because there's a lot of information there that is pretty interesting to see and it gives you a good look at what the future is going to look like for some of these medications.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see eventually the release of orforglipron, which is a new drug Eli Lilly is about to give to the FDA for approval. We hope that it's available in 2026.
Yeah, should be.
At some point. It's an oral pill you take once a day. Doesn't need refrigeration. It's not a shot. So how fantastic would that be? And on the Lilly call, they were hoping that the results would be up there with Zepbound at 15%.
Or with Wegovy, I think.
For weight loss. And it came in at only a weight loss percent of only 12.4% weight loss, which is still fantastic, right? But the analysts got, I guess, a little upset because they didn't hit the mark that they were shooting for with the 15% weight loss. But
so 40% of the people on the trial did hit 15% or greater.
Oh.
So the problem with it when you're looking for stock analysts is you're looking for these big, sexy numbers to move the needle, right? To really drive sales. Orforglipron, if they price it right, should absolutely make the market bigger. It should move the needle. Should be a great option for people starting out. Should be a great option for maintenance. Should make the entire pie bigger, honestly. It's going to depend on how Eli Lilly wants to go to market with it. If they come in with a really hot price and it's a good value.
I mean, right now for us, it's all about price because our insurance does not cover any weight loss medications. And so that's why I've done compounded tirzepatide for all of my 96-week
And
journey.
Rick's did say the way they were looking at pricing on the entire portfolio, so not just orforglipron, tirzepatide, retatrutide, there's a few other things coming, was really has a value play to make sure that based off the efficacy and the administration and all the things, people who needed it could get medications at every point in their journey. So we'll see. What would I like it to be? $99 a month.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be great. That'd be great. So I feel
Do I have
like,
any special insight that it will be? No, I do not.
well, and people ask us all the time about compounding and what we think the future of compounding is, and obviously we have no.
Well, and that's one of the questions that
don't know,
we'll tackle
right?
here in a minute.
So we don't know the future of compounding, but right now it is the most affordable option. So, Novo filed a bunch of lawsuits, and Eli Lilly, of course, has a bunch of lawsuits pending against the telehealth and the compounding pharmacies, but compounding pharmacies continue to produce medication. I've got some that'll be here on Monday. So, and people keep asking me where I get my medication from. I get my medication from Mochi Health.
All right, so let's take a look at a few of the questions. So from Cindy, she asks in response to the Eli Lilly video that we did about their analyst call, do you think Eli Lilly will release Zepbound vials to pharmacies? The vials are cheaper to manufacture than those bulky pens, so maybe it would be easier to get insurance approval. I personally prefer the vials. Nope, Cindy, I don't. And the reason is they see Lilly Direct Eli Lilly, see, and they talked about it a little bit in the call. The direct-to-consumer play as a value play for them that avoids all of the additional cost that comes along with going to CVS, Walgreens, your local pharmacy, because it avoids, you can't use your insurance, so you avoid the charges that are added by insurance, and it avoids the pharmacy benefit manager. So it takes all of that cost out of the system.
Yep.
So they're able to sell it to you at a lower price. Now, I have no special insight into their margin, but I suspect they probably are making more money off of the vials that they take home than they actually are off of the pens.
Well, they eliminated part of the supply chain,
so they eliminate part of the supply chain. The other thing that I would tell you is, although the pens certainly cost money at the volume that they're buying them from a pen manufacturer, right? So they don't make those pens themselves. The pens get delivered to a factory. The pens are filled in their factory. Wherever they're getting them from, those things cost nothing. 10 cents, 50 cents, $1. They don't add much cost to it. It is certainly a very specialized line, so it slows down production a good bit. So I don't see vials coming to regular pharmacies anytime soon.
And I think what people forget is that Eli Lilly is only in business to make money for Eli Lilly, right? They're not pricing these medicines for the good of the world right now, right? I mean, they're not going to do anything that's necessarily making it better for the consumers or for the users. They're going to do what makes them the most money and gets them the most sales volume. So that's what they're doing with these Lilly Direct vials. And, you know, it's great because they are cheaper than
Well, and what they said was
the
25% of their new starts on prescriptions were coming from Lilly Direct, which is an interesting number because, you know, that Lilly Direct vial price is basically half what a full price would be on pens per month. Now, many people have insurance that are paying for it, but it demonstrates that the volume, as Laraine said, and Laraine and I have both been in retail, and we're in retail for many years. And the distinction between Jojo might knock down the camera.
Jojo.
The distinction between actual dollar profit and margin is a really important distinction because it's easy to see you sell one box of pens at $1,000, you make X amount of money. Well, Lilly and any company can make up dollars, the actual dollars they put in the bank by volume, by selling more stuff even at a lower price. It's a lot of retail math, but I think that's where you're going to begin to see lower prices. As they say, we're going to go after a bigger chunk of the market and we can actually take more money home, not just have margin that's theoretical, by lowering the price and selling more, which could be exciting.
Yep.
All right, so that was question number 1 from Cindy.
This one comes from Patricia Kendall, and the message is, if I can ask, how long are the bud dates on your vials from Mochi? Thank you for your question, Patricia. I get my tirzepatide vials through Mochi from Empower Pharmacy. Empower Pharmacy is in Texas. So the pharmacy that you get shipped, it depends on your state. So not every compounding pharmacy can ship to every state. So your mileage may vary. If you start with Mochi, you may or may not get Empower Pharmacy. They use, I think, 4 or 5 pharmacies right now. So I have vials in the refrigerator. Today's August. I have some with a bud date of September. I have some with a bud date of November. I think I have some with January. And I believe I got some with March not too long ago. So usually the bud date is the best use by date. Okay, so you keep it sealed up, you put it in your refrigerator, and that's how long it should be good unopened in your refrigerator, like a use by date. Okay, so, and it just seems to vary. Usually the shortest I've ever seen is 6 weeks out. Usually it's about 3 months out, sometimes 6 months out, and that's about it at this point right now today.
For the vast majority of compounding pharmacies, regardless of your telehealth company, the way they're doing it is they're manufacturing this medication and it's going on their shelf and they're pulling off the stuff that goes, basically the bud date is shortest first. So depending on how busy they are, your bud date could adjust. Think of it like going to the store and buying milk, and
Buying milk.
you look at the
Pull from
use
the
by
back.
date on the and you pull from the back. Basically,
Yeah. They're
they're
pulling
pulling
from the
from
front.
the front. And
Yeah.
it's not really a Mochi specific thing. That's true for virtually all compounding pharmacies. All right, Margaret asks, do you know of anyone who has battled an insurance company on the state level and made them pay for Zepbound? Michigan has a state agency that oversees insurance companies. I'm wondering if I should pursue this. I have moderate OSA, which is FDA approved for Zepbound. Well, so there's a couple of different things going on here. We talk to people every day, particularly around the sleep apnea question. And typically sleep apnea, if it is approved for moderate to severe sleep apnea. Zepbound is. Not every insurance policy covers it. Not every Medicaid, Medicare policy covers it. So it's going to be up to your specific policy. And honestly, it's typically dictated by who you work for. Now, we work for ourselves and have insurance through the marketplace, so that's a slightly different function, but it's dictated by who you work for. You could certainly reach out to your state and see if there's any assistance there, but it's going to be state by state. We are seeing people get approved for sleep apnea all the time. So you may also continue to, particularly when your insurance is renewed each year, go ahead and try again, because the things change and you never know what's going to change there. All right. Thank you, Margaret. Let's see here. Here's one for you, Laraine.
All right. This one comes from Kathleen. Hi, Laraine. I recently watched your Downsized dish with Lori and Susie Chase from 9 months ago. Oh, wow. What a fun, lively, and real exchange of ideas and tips on a wide variety of topics. I was wondering if you might be able to check in with them again, since there are many new viewers, and also all three of you appealed to a large demographic of your audience. You all interacted with each other easily and in such a relatable way. Love that episode, Kathleen. Well, thanks, Kathleen. I can certainly reach back out to them. Lori and I were sorority sisters at Clarkson in college, and Susie and I just met through the course of this channel, and we all have very similar stories. I think we're all about 50 pounds down. I think Lori maybe is even a little bit more than that. But yeah, I'll see if we can get them back together. So you can go back and search for those. I did a separate interview with Lori separately and with Susie separately. They're one of the very first ones I did when we started our channel back in March of 2024. Mm-hmm. Susie has an interesting story. She only stayed on 2.5 and lost 50 pounds on staying on the 2.5 dose of tirzepatide for her whole journey. And now I think she's even, oh, JoJo's going inside because somebody's mowing a lawn. She's zipping across the yard. She's even dropped down a little bit below 2.5 for maintenance. So her story is a little different. I think Lori started on Ozempic.
I think she started on liraglutide, didn't she?
Yeah, and she was a pharmaceutical drug sales rep, so she had learned about it, I think, a little differently. So yeah, we'll see if we can circle back to them.
Very good. From Joanne, she says, hi, Christopher and Laraine. I just signed up for the meet and greet while you're here in Vegas. I'm a local and have been following along with the Downsized channel for quite some time. Your journey has truly inspired me, and I've been meaning to send in my request to join the Downsized dish to share my story. So not actually a question, but it lets me talk about two things. So let's first of all talk about our meet and greets. So the meet and greets, we have 6 scheduled for the year. One's already been completed, the one in Washington a few weeks ago. We have one next week in Charlotte, and then they go out through the end of the year. Charlotte, Vegas, Atlanta. What am I missing? Chicago, thank you. Mm-hmm. And if you'd like to go to any one of our meet and greets, go to the downsized.org. You can RSVP for them by clicking on the Meetup tab and go there. They're absolutely free. They're really just casual. We're meeting mostly in hotels, kind of in lobbies, restaurants, bars, sorts of things. So we'll meet you. Maybe we'll have a little bit of swag to give out. I also wanted to mention, because the Vegas one, if you've followed along, really, we're going to see Kelly Clarkson, maybe. So Kelly Clarkson, unfortunately, announced this week that her ex-husband had passed away, and the father of her kids. So she has canceled the remainder of her August dates in Vegas. She hasn't said anything about September, but
or November.
Or November.
we have tickets for November.
And we have tickets in November, obviously, which is when that meetup is. We certainly express our condolences to her. We have a petition out there on change.org if you'd like to go sign it. That the goal was to ask her to be on our show, right, and talk about her health and wellness and weight loss journey. Obviously, she has bigger things to worry about right now,
Right.
but that invitation remains open to her if she ever would like to do that. We can do it however, whether it be in Vegas, online like this, or we'll go to her if she wants us to. Doesn't matter. So, Kelly, we're thinking about you and your family, and we appreciate your music every day.
Yeah, our deepest condolences go out to her and her kids and her husband's family and her family. That's definitely a tough time for everyone.
So the other thing it does is Joanne mentioned the Downsized dish. So how can they be on the Downsized dish?
Well, if you'd like to come on our show and tell me about your weight loss journey, you can send me an email to Laraine@thedownsized.org. I'll send you a link to our calendar and we'll get you set up. We do interviews every week with people like you and me and Christopher that have been on a GLP-1 weight loss journey. So send me an email. I'd love to chat with you. Keep in mind, I am not a professional interviewer. You know, a lot of people have, like commented on my interviewing. I'm just having a conversation with people, and they're really just very casual conversations. They're not hard-hitting investigative journalism or anything like that. I have no training as an interviewer or as a news person or anything. It's just a very casual conversation. So we have, probably over 100.
I don't know how many there are.
You can go back and watch and the series is called The Downsized Dish. So send me an email.
So go take a look. There's a lot. You will probably find somebody that looks a lot like you, or if not, you should come on and do one. Next up, a question from Oh My Yet 2173. Hello, Oh My Yet.
Yeah.
That came in after the Novo Nordisk and the Eli Lilly videos from this week. They say, so if the drug companies bring down the price, would it still be feasible for the compounding companies to keep doing it? If the manufacturers are able to get supplies and manufacturing is cheaper, then the compounding companies can price them out of business. The maintenance option for the new med would be perfect. Speaking about the orforglipron, that's the way they should spin it. So it's an interesting conversation. So compounding as a whole has been around far longer than GLP-1s. It's been around since the beginning of pharmacies. And honestly, that's what pharmacies originally did. You couldn't buy pills off the shelf or shot. They made them at, they went in mortar and pestle, and, pharmacist Joe or whoever he was made you up whatever it was you needed. And in fact, crazy things like both Pepsi and Coke were invented in a pharmacy by pharmacists that were supposed to be digestives and such. Compounding today continues to fill that need, but it fills that need for individual patients where maybe you're allergic to something, you can't swallow a pill, you need an oral, you need a different dose. So our daughter has actually gotten compounded medication locally from our local compounding pharmacies. So compounding pharmacies I don't think ever go away. However, the economics of GLP-1 compounding could well change. In fact, my guess would be at some point, whether it be 2 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road, compounding at the scale that we're seeing it now probably goes away. I don't know that it ever goes away completely, but when there's 5, 10 drugs out and they can hit a lot of price points, it may not be economically feasible for the 50 people advertising on Facebook right now to make a lot of money doing it. I don't know. What do you think?
It's all about price, right? So right now, compounding is the cheapest way to be able to afford a GLP-1 medication, at least for us. If you have insurance that covers it, fantastic, you've won the jackpot, and we're very jealous of you. But anyway, if the drug manufacturers, Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk, drop their prices to at the compounded price or below, that would take money away from the compounding business, right? Because who wouldn't rather get a name brand from a pharmacy than a mail order from a compounding pharmacy? I think people would probably still continue with the compounding option A lot of doctors, maybe your doctor, isn't a fan of GLP-1s, doesn't understand them, won't prescribe them. So a lot of people have come to compounding through and telehealth through that route. So I think the prices of brand name medications will probably lower before compounding GLP-1s go away. That's kind of how I see it playing out. I'm going to keep purchasing compounding medication for the foreseeable future as long as it's safe, effective, priced right, and it's the best option for me.
And so the economics of telehealth are interesting because there's a significant acquisition cost for customers. So open up Facebook right now. If you scroll for more than a minute, you are probably getting an ad for a telehealth company. That ad costs money, right? If you go in your car, I was in the other day, get in the car, there's radio ads, there's TV ads, there's all kinds of stuff.
You might even recognize
right?
some of the people on your TV ads.
There's all kinds of stuff. So although we think it's a lot cheaper, the cost to get those customers and maintain those customers is pretty high per customer, even though the cost of the medication. So yeah, at some point, the economics shift and it's not going to be as prevalent. We'll see. I don't know. Who knows how fast that'll go, and who knows where the court cases stand. And yeah, there's a lot of balls in the air on all of that. I don't see it going away anytime soon.
No, I want to keep compounding available.
I don't care if compounding's available at all. Could care less. What I want is an accessible, affordable drug. It does not matter to me where it comes from. I have no love for compounding.
Right.
Don't care.
It needs to be affordable because I've been able to lose 50 pounds and keep it off for over a year at this point. I'm continuing to take my medication. You know, people ask, oh, are you ever going to stop taking tirzepatide? Well, no, I'm not. This is a tool to treat the disease of obesity, right? So I'm going to keep using this tool because, you know, I lived the first 50 years of my life without it, and I know how that went. I know my weight struggles for those years. I don't want to go back to that. So I will continue to take this medication.
Well, but that's the key. I'm not loyal to any compounder, any telehealth, any brand, any manufacturer. What I want is to be able to maintain my health. And if something else comes along, whether it be from Lilly or Novo or Viking or Amgen or player to be named later, does not matter to me, and it's a great price and helps me do it in a reasonable way, then we're on board. Now, if you want to build brand loyalty, there's ways to do it. There are ways that aren't so adversarial and just so, you know, chasing the dollar. But you know, nobody's playing that game right now. Maybe somebody will one day.
Well, there's just so much profit in these GLP-1 medications for everybody, for the compounders, for the telehealths, for Eli Lilly, for Novo Nordisk. There's a lot of people really profiting on people who suffer from the disease of obesity. So,
well, somebody commented the other day, well, I would rather use a compounder because it's a small business.
I don't know how
the reality
small they
of
are
compounding
anymore.
right now is the vast majority of the ones that you're getting your medication for, the ones you've heard of, are not small business. They are still multi-million-dollar corporations.
Well, and a
They're
lot
not
of them are private, so we don't see
multi-billion-dollar
their
corporations.
financials. Yeah, we don't see their financials.
No, but you can easily do the math. They're not multi-billion, so if you like a multi-million versus a multi-billion, okay, so be it. They're all making money.
We know what Eli Lilly is making. I think last I checked it was $4 billion of profit per quarter.
5.6 this quarter.
Oh,
5.6
see, it went up. And their stock price went down at that news,
which
was
basically
odd.
tells you, and of that, I think 2/3 of it, and I don't remember the number, I did the video, you can go back and look, came from GLP-1s.
Oh, yeah.
So you could easily...
Oh, yeah, it's their cash cow.
You could easily take, I don't know, 1.6 billion and keep 4 billion in profit, 1.6, and take it and put it towards price.
Yeah, I mean...
And lower the price and grow your market share.
When we're talking billions, I mean, I don't even have a reference point for a number that big, right? It's just so, I mean, 5 billion a quarter, 20 billion a year in profit. Like, at what point, you know, and I really am thankful that Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk and these big pharma companies have brought these GLP-1s to market, right? Because they are life-changing medications. They've changed our lives. It's worked like nothing ever. It's a effective treatment for the disease of obesity, and I'm so thankful that this has come in my lifetime. And I'm so glad that they spent research dollars to develop these medications. That's great. But how much money do they need to make before they drop the price? They're making $20 billion a year.
It'll be a lot more than that.
And you still want to charge over $1,000 a month for this medication? It's just mind-boggling, and the potential to do so much good for the public health is,
Can grow their business, honestly. Lower prices would grow your business, I promise you.
I mean, 74% of America has overweight or obesity. We don't say are overweight or are obese anymore. We say they have overweight or they have obesity. 74% of America. And 10% of America is not currently on these medications.
Somewhere around there.
The market is so large for this, no pun intended, but that's all I had to say about that.
Pamela Sabine 9529 says, can you explain percentages? It seems like if you are taking a GLP-1, you shouldn't be concerned that your risk of cancer thyroid goes up X%, but you should be excited that your risk for heart attack stroke is reduced by X%, while you can lose X% body weight. It seems like we are supposed to ignore the bad and focus on the positive. What are your thoughts? This is one of those questions where we default back to the you should talk to your doctor. So there's a lot of data out there.
Your risk might be different than
there's a ton
right?
of data out there, and we talk about the data all of the time. Each one of your risks and your health concerns are something you should talk to your doctor about, and then your doctor can help you and you guys can look at the appropriate research that fits your needs. The only thing I'm absolutely positive of is me. And if you ever watch Jamie Sells learn, he says this all the time. Jamie says, I'm not an expert at anybody but Jamie. I'm a Jamie expert. Well, I'm a Christopher expert. Me at 100 pounds heavier, the absolute risk based off of my health concerns and my family history of death from obesity.
Early death at that.
Was early death. It wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when.
Yeah.
All of the other things, the percentages were much lower. Now, I don't have thyroid problems, so if you have that, I'm not diabetic, so if you have that. So talk to your doctor, because there's a ton of data out there, but obesity, the numbers are the highest on. The concerns are the highest on.
Yeah, so you have to look at your personal risk and weigh the risk of carrying an extra 50, 100, whatever pounds versus the risk of the medication, the risk of
side effects.
I mean, it's really, it's something each person has to look at and decide for themselves with their doctor. Okay, and we're not doctors and we're not telling you what you should do. I know what was best for me. Christopher knew what was best for him, and that was to lose weight. I mean, he lost 100 pounds and he came off his blood pressure medicine, his cholesterol medicine, his snoring, probably sleep apnea stopped. So, what were the risks of all those things and all those medicines he'd been taking for all those years? So,
there's no clean answer to this.
Yeah.
There's really not. So talk to your doctor. There's a lot of research out there. Decide what risk you're willing to take with the realization that we live with risk every day. And me living with that extra 100 pounds, the risk was
high.
Well, it's very, very high that I was not going to make it to see my kids get married or see grandkids. And I didn't want to take that risk.
Right.
So that's the question. If you guys would like to submit a question to us, you could send it to either one of us, Christopher at thedownsized.org or Laraine at thedownsized.org, or you can leave it in the comments. If you actually say, I have a question, it's a little easier because the comments will search by questions then, which works really well. And I pull them each week, I print them out, and we actually sit wherever we are and talk about them. Happy to answer whatever questions we have with the understanding that we're not doctors.
I am not.
Oh, what else? Oh, the cruise. Tell them about the cruise, Laraine.
This past June, we did our first Downsized at Sea cruise. It was a ton of fun. We had a great time. We had about 52 people that came with us on that Downsized at Sea cruise. And so we had so much fun. We're going to do it again, this time on a different cruise ship with a little slightly different itinerary. But our 2026 Downsized cruise is going to happen June, I think it's 4th through 8th, on the Royal Caribbean Freedom of the Seas. We're going to go to their private island, Coco Cay, in Nassau, I think. And it's a 4-night cruise, so we'll do lots of fun stuff. We'll do some kind of meetup every day where we'll have some programming, but you'll have a lot of time, to explore the ship, to do all the fun things. We'll plan some excursions that are optional that you can come on with us, or you can do your own thing. So we hope that you will join us for that. If you want to know more about that, go to our website at bedownsized.org, click the cruise tab, and you can connect with our travel agents, Roberta and Kelly.
Yep, and I had a couple people comment, well, I don't ever need to go to Nassau again, or I've been there.
I don't ever need to go to Nassau.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of in the same place, but the thing about this group cruise is...
But it doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter what the ports are. This is really about hanging out with a bunch of people who are in the same boat as you are and having conversations. We'll eat dinner together. We'll do activities together. We'll record some interviews, a live together. So this is really about the GLP-1, the downsized community at sea. And several people kind of called it, camp for GLP-1 users.
Yeah.
And it kind of is. I mean, you have plenty of time to do what you want to do, but we'll have activities that are really focused around getting you guys together and having conversations. So people loved it last time. You should join us.
Well, and it was so nice because we all automatically had something in common and something to talk about. So, people were talking about, how much weight have you lost? What medication are you taking? How did you get your insurance approval? Like, what are you going to eat off this buffet for breakfast? So we definitely had a lot of fun conversations. I will say there was a lot of conversations about pooping, which, you meet 52 strangers, you don't really think that's going to be a number one topic of conversation, but it was funny, it was. So, we just got to know each other very, very quickly, and we just had a really great time.
And
so come join us.
Everybody was really open to meeting each other, and we'll build activities to help you guys connect and all that. So super fun. You should definitely do that. If you haven't already RSVP'd for the meetups, please go to thedownsized.org and RSVP for one of the meetups. They're absolutely free. We would love to meet you guys. If you're wondering if we're going to go to Vegas, we're going to go to Vegas.
And we'll just hope for the best for her and her family. If you're just starting on this journey and maybe you're needing, to know, hey, Laraine, what do you do for constipation? Or how do I get my protein in? Or what kind of scale do you guys use? You can go to our website at thedownsized.org and click on our Amazon store, our store tab. We're Amazon affiliates, so we make a small commission on each purchase, but we've got an Amazon store set up with all kinds of products that we've personally used and recommend on this GLP-1 journey. So you can see the scale that we use, the constipation remedy that I use, it's called Mago 7. It's got protein powders and protein bars. He doesn't eat any of that stuff, but I like all the things. So you can check that out, and it helps support the channel, so we appreciate that.
Absolutely. Anything else going on this week?
This week we are moving one of our daughters back into college. She's moving into an apartment, which is a new experience for her, and so we're going to be getting a lot of steps in. So and
I'm lifting weights.
Yeah.
Giant bags of teen girls' clothes.
I have a mosquito bite right there. So I will not be working out tomorrow, but I'm sure I will get
plenty of
my
exercise.
10,000 steps in. So I'm going to let that count for my workout tomorrow at Jamie Setzler, looking at you. And let's see, we've got that coming up. We've got our meetup in Charlotte coming up, and
it's next week. So
one of my friends that's a real estate agent in town has started her own podcast on real estate, and she's asked me to come and talk on her podcast about GLP-1. So once
I think it's not on real estate. I think it's just on general goings on.
General goings on in the
area.
community?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll put a link to that once she puts that out. And I think that's it.
Okay. Well, very good. Well, thank you very much for joining us for the Downsized, our weekly weigh-in. If you haven't already, take a moment to like and subscribe. Make sure you catch us on Wednesday for our live. That'll be at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, right? Is it Eastern
Daylight. I think we're in daylight time, but 7 p.m. Eastern time.
7 p.m.
On
Eastern
Wednesday.
time.
Club Downsized.
Yep.
On Tuesday. If you'd like to join our Club Downsized, you should see a join button right below where I'm talking. If not, it's somewhere else. But anyway, we have Club Downsized. You can join that supports us further. Our content is always free, but if you join Club Downsized, you get access to members-only live shows most Tuesdays at 6 p.m. I have a Club Downsized Facebook page that only members of Club Downsized can access, and you get little emojis next to your name so that when you comment, people know that you are a member of Club Downsized.
That's right.
And we thank you for your support.
Well, very good. Well, thank you very much for joining us once again for our weekly weigh-in. My name is Christopher Durham.
I'm Laraine Durham.
And we are the Downsized. See you next week.